Day 2 of the 2023 FIM International 6 Days of Enduro FIM Moto TV studio show. Such have been the conditions here in Argentina that today's route has had to be shortened by around about an hour. So just behind me, the riders about to enter in towards Parc Fermé. Before that though, let's take a look at the course that they've run today. It's the northeastern loop of this year's 6 days. Such was the level of exhaustion yesterday. Temperatures pushing up towards the 40-degree mark. The course has been reduced from day 1 by an hour. The same 3 specials, though, all run twice. The cross test in Las Lomitas, the Noco Enduro test out of the La Laja Aerodrome, and the Aero Enduro test. A couple of moments' time, we'll take a closer look at that one in particular with FIM track inspector Maurizio Micheluz. Well, here he is alongside me. Maurizio took us through one of the 3 special tests just 24 hours ago, and here he is to do it all over again. We've got a different test this time. We're going to take a look at some of the images that you have filmed for us out in those special tests. Today's test then coming from the Aero Enduro test, special test number 3. We'll pick up those images in a couple of moments' time. But Maurizio, if you can just explain here why you've selected these ones.
Well, I selected the one because this is the last test of the loop. And it was typically so dry and so many rocks here that I think that this is a good explanation of how is this kind of race. So here we can see there is gravel and soft dusty in the bottom, and was very difficult to ride on this test. So that's it.
Tell me, yesterday the conditions, as I've said already at the top of the program, were very demanding. The riders that came in to speak to us, all of them saying that basically carrying on in this way, maybe we don't even reach the end of the week. But the decision's been taken today. It's a little bit of a shorter route, just to help the riders, and particularly in these hot temperatures.
Yeah, yesterday we saw that we had a lot of retirement because the heat was very, very high, and with 40 degrees we cannot have an hard race for sure. So today we decided, together with the organizer, to reduce a bit the stress for the riders. So we take out some part on the loop, and we keep the 2 laps, and that was the goal. So I think that was a good decision, because today we had a softer day, ready for tomorrow. That we changed the loop.
The forecast was always for more wind today maybe than yesterday, and actually sitting here we can feel it now directly above the paddock. Is that going to help a little bit in some aspects?
Yeah, the wind of course will help for the dust, because the dust was a hell, especially in the special test one this morning was not so much windy, so it was like in the fog in winter time, so that was not good for us. And yeah, the wind helps, but also because the wind today is from the south and is a bit fresh compared to yesterday, so I think that it helps also for today.
Coming towards the end of the second day, and riders out there said that, you know, after one passage, and we saw the images from yesterday's second special test where we could see the lines that had already been carved into the terrain, the track is well established by now, the line well established over going through it twice yesterday and twice today.
Yeah, but I'm coming directly from there now. Right now I was riding there for the last lap, and believe me that now the bumps are huge compared to the image that I've been doing yesterday. Today now is very damaged, and the bumps are quite tricky.
So the good news is we move on to new special test tomorrow, a new course out to the west of the city of San Juan. What have we got in store for tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow we change completely the landscape. We are going to the mountain. We have the first time check that is quite normal, we can say, but the second one is very technical. We are exactly in the middle of the mountain in some canyons with many rocks. And yeah, the second time check can be a good selection for tomorrow. And also the special tests are completely new, so we will take a look tomorrow.
And course as a whole, so far so good. Riders making their way through, a few retirements, but some of those because of the heat and also mechanical problems yesterday.
Yeah, as usual, the day one is, you know, we have some riders that maybe understanding after the first lap that they are not ready for this kind of race. But today, yeah, just a few retirement, as I know, and that's running. Today runs very smoothly, and yeah, tomorrow we are going to have a good day, I think.
Well, thank you very much to Maurizio for talking us through today's Iro special test. We'll hope to see you back tomorrow to take another look at what is a new course for days 3 and 4. But in the meanwhile, let's go back to day 2 in a couple of moments' time. We'll have some of the stars of the show. So having seen the special tests that awaited the riders today and the conditions again scorching here in San Juan after the action yesterday that took out a few big names in a few of our World Trophy classes, move on to the competition itself and an opportunity to look at the World Trophy and how we got on 24 hours ago. Top 2 individual performers for the last 2 years, Andrea Verona and Josep Garcia, enjoyed another battle at the start of 2023, with Verona fastest in the opening special before Garcia hit back in the remaining 5. But 2021 champions Italy lost around 5 minutes with a broken chain for Samuele Bernardini in the 6th test. Spain also lost around 5 minutes with a fuel hose failure for Sergio Navarro. Josep Garcia ensured that the team finished the day 4th and ahead of Italy. His individual efforts some 13 seconds faster than his nearest rival in the scratch times. Garcia picking up where he left off with 4 consecutive Grand Prix wins at the end of this World Championship season. World number 8, Théo Espinas, impressed with 5 top 5 times to lead France to 3rd, all the more impressive after a big crash for him in the opening test. A solid 2nd place to start the week for Great Britain, who field 3 members of the team that won the 2022 ISDE at Le Puy-en-Velay last year. World champion Steve Holcomb sits out this year's visit to Argentina. The team welcomes Alex Snow back into the lineup. The 2023 ISDE is Taylor Roberts' final race before professional retirement, and it looks as though he has every chance of going out on a high, as an evenly matched USA team built a near 2-minute margin on the opening day alone.
I think I was consistently like top 5, top 10 for the day, and I think my teammates were all kind of right there. So I think we had a really solid first day. Everybody kept it upright, no major issues, and just do that 5 more times.
Retirements for Colombia, Bolivia and Brazil put them out of the running. Chile are only 8 seconds behind Italy in the top 5, but their gap is already 7 minutes to leaders, the USA. So that's where we left you yesterday, with the USA comfortably in command at the end of 200 kilometres of riding. And I'm now delighted to be joined at the end of day 2 by Great Britain's reigning champion Nathan Watson, and also representing the USA, sitting here to my right, Dante Oliveira. And the USA really have been in command thus far, extending their lead over the course of the day today from the latest information that we have. But first, we're going to talk to these two riders about how they got on yesterday. First contact with San Juan here in Argentina. Hot day, demanding day. Nathan, first of all, as reigning champion. A year ago, it was Le Prix en Velay, it was France, it was grassy. You know, there was a real variety of special tests. Here, it is hot, it is dusty, it is stony. Tell us what it's been like for you thus far.
Yeah, it's been quite surprisingly tough, actually. Like, compared with last year. Last year seems easy now after doing these first 2 days out here. You know, like you said, with the weather being so hot, and from the UK we don't really see this sort of weather, so that's been tough for myself and the team. And yeah, we all got off to kind of steady start yesterday, but we was all pretty consistent. And yeah, same again today. I think all the boys have done good. So yeah, we just need to keep going. It's a long race.
Different year for you as a team as well, because you're without Steve Holcomb, and clearly when you're talking about one of, if not the top rider in the world, he is a big loss. Alex Snow has come back in, rider who has experience of the ISDE. What's the new mix been like within the team?
Yeah, the atmosphere is great. You know, we all get on, we're all good mates. So yeah, it's all good. But yeah, definitely missing Steve. Obviously, he was part of the winning team last year, and yeah, he's had a really good year this year. And yeah, unfortunately, he couldn't make it. But yeah, we're just gonna, you know, do the best with who we've got, and yeah, keep plugging away.
Given how long it was, you know, over 5 decades between Great Britain's last titles, we know that it's one thing to win it, to defend it is a big challenge, and you're looking at one of your big rivals over the course of this week right here. It's going to be a tough task against the USA.
Yeah, definitely. They got off to a really good start yesterday, I think, with all 4 guys in the top 10, and yeah, I think they're strong in these conditions. I think it's quite similar to back home, and yeah, it's going to be tough to catch them up, but you know, we just need to keep plugging away. Like I said before, it's a long race, and yeah, let's see what we can do.
Dante, top American rider yesterday, but as Nathan just touched on, there wasn't much of a difference between the times of all 4 of you, actually. You're all going great guns right from the start. So what was your first impression, having seen back the images as well here in San Juan?
Yeah, it's some nasty racing for sure, but stoked with how the whole team is doing. We're all super strong and in the top 10, and everybody's been riding smooth and keeping it on 2 wheels. So just got to keep the bodies and the bikes together and stay strong for the rest of the week.
Well, we'll come back to you, Dante, in a couple of moments' time when we talk a little bit more in detail about what's happened so far on day 2. And as I always say at this stage, I should insist we don't have any official results. But we have been beavering away with individual riders' times from special tests, adding them together to come up with something that gives us a bit of an indication before we get those confirmed results. And first sums give the USA fastest, and again by a significant margin of over 3 minutes. So a big chunk taken out over the course of the special tests today. Dante once again fastest among the American men, and then not much to choose between the next 4 nations. The UK narrowly faster, 7 seconds or so over Italy, then Spain and France, and the 4 countries all within a minute of one another. So Dante, another day on which the USA, by the looks of things, and again I emphasise these are rudimentary calculations that we've done here on paper, looks to have taken out another big chunk over the other teams.
Yeah, we're riding strong, and I think with the rougher it gets, with how we race a little bit of longer races, we tend to do a little better. So tomorrow it's going to be fresh tracks. We're just going to have to go and hit our marks and ride hard.
Such a strong advantage right from the start of the week. Are we hitting the ground running here because these conditions are similar to what you know? I know the American riders that probably race on the West Coast are a little bit more used to these kind of conditions.
Yeah, definitely for guys like me, Taylor, and Cole Martinez, we are, and definitely the Arizona boys, Cole and Taylor. It's rocky, it's hard pack, and silty like it is here. So definitely are more comfortable than other conditions, but yeah. It's racing dirt bikes. It's nasty out there, so got to ride smart.
And as you say, riding smart is key, because as good as the times might be, it only takes one riding retirement to end the whole thing, essentially. So keeping it upright, keeping it, you're the fastest one out there. How much are you limiting yourself to make sure that you will bring it home?
I'm not trying to limit myself. Verona and Garcia, they're taking off, and I'd like to be up there battling with them. So it's just, obviously I'm a little farther off, but gonna keep on having to pluck away and learn as much as I can.
Not far though, looking at the timesheets for today, looks like you're a little bit closer to Garcia than you were yesterday. I think it's only a gap of about 20 seconds over the 6 special tests between the two of you.
Right, closer today, but yesterday I was definitely a little farther off the pace. So stoked with the little improvements and just going to keep plucking away.
Nathan, Great Britain trailing the USA, and I suppose the hope now is that after conceding a couple of minutes yesterday, conceding more ground today, not hoping for ill events to happen, but to make sure that you're primed and next in line if something does go wrong for any of the American riders.
Yeah, exactly. You can't just you can't give up when you're losing a bit of time. We just need to keep doing our best, and yeah, it's a long race. Anything can happen to the bikes, to the riders, and still 4 days left. So yeah, we just need to make sure we're right there and not losing too much time, and yeah, hope for a slip up.
Good day for yourself personally today. Fastest British rider again, and looking like you were quite comfortable.
Yeah, it was a much better day today. Now I've learnt the special tests a little bit better. Yesterday I didn't really remember them so good, so I didn't have much confidence on the first lap, to be honest. So I lost so much time, and yeah, really wasn't happy with that. But yeah, got off to a better start directly this morning and didn't crash today. So yeah, it was a good day, and yeah, I want to keep going, improving.
For people who maybe don't know as much about the 6 days, we start racing. We've got 6 days of consecutive competition. We start early in the morning as well. But you do have the opportunity to walk the course in advance of the event, and you'd always, all of the riders come a few days early to make sure there's time to do that. A little bit in the evenings maybe as well, between days. But given how demanding yesterday was, how much did you get out to be able to see everything again?
Yeah, exactly. It's another tough part of this race is actually the walking of the tests. You come here 6 days before and start walking, and you're doing 30 Ks a day sometimes. It's really tough, and you need to concentrate to try and remember the test, remember where you're going. And like you said, you can also go and walk. We finish quite early because we start early, so you can go and walk in the evenings. But you just need to find the balance between conserving energy for the next day and knowing the tests better. So I think I'm just going to stay and try and recover and get ready for tomorrow.
Well, how about tomorrow? Because we get a new course. The characteristics of the special tests tomorrow are a little bit different to what we've had the last 2 days, and all 3 of them really have been broadly similar over the course of these 2 days so far. We go out towards the lakes and the mountains, and at very least picturesque scenery. But what are your thoughts on what we've got coming up?
Yeah, that's one really cool thing about this event here in San Juan. Each day is completely different style test. So I think the results are going to change a lot, like for day 3 and day 4 compared to day 1 and day 2. And again on the 5th day it's completely different tests again. So it's a big variety. So obviously the strongest guys on all the different terrains are going to be the best.
Man to my right, hoping that things don't change too much over the next couple of days. What are your thoughts on the course that we've got coming up on days 3 and 4?
Definitely a little more techy, a lot of loose rocks, so you're gonna have to be on your toes and stay charging out. But it's pretty cool scenery, pretty cool terrain, so I'm looking forward to different challenges.
Inevitably, the USA always bring a big team with them to the ISDE support team as well as rider team, and massive event for you guys, but it's going to be an even more special event, I think, in many respects, because Taylor Robert, who's been a great legend of the ISDE, is set to bow out at the end of this year. So just your thoughts on that.
Right, Taylor, he's had an awesome career, and his last hurrah, so try to finish out on top and do the best we can for him.
Yes, so we wait to see what might happen in the coming days. Certainly an opportunity there to be victorious. Such a good start, as we've been saying. You're seeing the images here from all of the different nations. What's the biggest risk now for the remainder of the week? Is it a retirement that's the only thing that's going to sort of derail you from here? Because it's a big advantage that you've amassed just over these opening 2 days.
Yeah, it'd be a rider getting hurt or a bike going down. So, or it could be missing a time check, anything like that. it's a long 4 days of racing, so just you got to be smart, be on it the whole time. You can't let up because the other teams are strong. So just be smooth, be on point, and pay attention to everything going on.
And just to go back to what we were saying about the logistics and the support and everything behind the event, what's the build-up like for this event as far as you and the American riders are concerned, the preparation in advance that goes in for months before we get here?
Right, we put in a bunch of work this year. Taylor and the whole team, we were super into just coming out here and smashing. I think everybody was in high spirits knowing that the terrains were a little similar to West Coast and what we raced. So we put a lot of work into it, not just walking the test here, but also the months beforehand, training, doing a little boot camps down in Arizona with Taylor and the team and the whole USA crew. They put a lot of effort into it, and we have a big support crew that it's all about winning, so it's awesome.
Do you get much of an opportunity to ride together during the season, and also maybe any camps or anything like that for training before this one?
Yeah, we had 2 boot camps, one in PA, Pennsylvania, and then another one down in Arizona. So those were, I think, both 3 days or 4 days, and then I've raced with Taylor the last few years, and Cole Martinez, we race all year long in the Grand Prix series. So yeah, it's a good crew we have, and we're having fun out here.
And Nathan, we know very well that the Brits are all among the Enduro World Championship over the course of the European summer season. So what's your year been like, and what are your expectations, because we're into November now, and back home it's 10, 11 degrees, and you're finishing with a little end of season racing holiday as well.
Yeah, it's been a long season. I think we started racing in March or something, and yeah, racing all over the world this year in the World Championship. And yeah, personally it's been not the best year. I had a DNF to start the season, so points wise I lost a lot of points, but yeah, I had a few good races, a couple of wins, so yeah, it's been good, but yeah, a long year, and definitely be taking some rest after this event, that's for sure.
Well, many thanks to Nathan Watson and Dante Oliveira of Great Britain and the USA, respectively, 2 of our top competing nations in the World Trophy, and the USA certainly tearing it up over the course of the opening 2 days thus far. Lead at the end of our first course. We have got new trails and new special tests to come in 24 hours' time, when we'll give you the end of day confirmed results. But for now, at least, it's the USA in command. Now it's all about the Junior Trophy, where it's Sweden that have very much been in command. Yesterday, their 3 riders were the top 3 in the class as a whole. Let's see how the rest of the teams got on as well. In the Junior Trophy, the USA had a tougher time. Matteo Oliveira topped the team's timesheets, but even he crashed twice in the last 2 tests, trying to find a little bit more time. Nonetheless, the Americans sit only 16 seconds behind the podium places. In fact, the closest battle after the opening day is a 3-way fight for second, with the contenders separated by less than 40 seconds. France sit in 3rd. Meanwhile, Italy, junior champions in 3 of the last 4 editions of the ISDE, have been restricted to 2nd. Enrico Rinaldi, the only surviving member of last year's team, was narrowly fastest for them. But the top 3 in the junior scratch times were all representatives of Sweden. No great surprise, given that they unite 3 of the top 6 from the individual Junior World Championship, favourites starting as they mean to go on. It's been an incredibly hot day today in Argentina. For sure the toughest I've had at the 6 days, especially for a first day. The team has done really well. I won the junior overall and the other guys were second and third. So we have a strong team for the rest of the week. Problems for Chile's third man undoes the rest of their team's hard work that could have put them among the top 5. But all 33 junior riders are still running, which is some achievement given the conditions and the mixed levels of experience on show. Well, you heard from him just a couple of moments ago at the end of the day yesterday, and he's now sitting to my left. Albin Norbin and Kai Ailo of the USA also joins us in the studio to talk about the week so far and what is ahead of us in the Junior Trophy. And Albin, let's start with you and let's start with Sweden. Where else could we start? Because it has been a dominant opening to the ISDE for 2023.
Yeah, it's been an incredible start for us. Everyone is doing great work. We really tried to push the limits. We had quite some problems during the last week with some cold and some fever and stuff. So really pumped that we are able to compete this good. So yeah, it's a really good start of the week.
I don't think it's a surprise to anyone, to be honest, that Sweden are going as well as you are, because you've had 3 of the top 6, I think, in the Junior World Championship this season. But why is it that we've got suddenly a golden generation, the 3 of you all at the same time coming through?
Yeah, I don't know actually. I think especially me and Max has been fighting during like the last 5 or 6 years. So I think we have pushed each other a little bit. And then also Axel arrived from the motocross during his first Enduro season last year, like a proper one. So I think we're pushing each other really good, and we're just having a good momentum at the moment, and try to, I don't know, actually, just doing something good, apparently.
Albin and Sweden finishing yesterday 2.5 minutes clear of their nearest rivals. Italy directly behind, with France in third and the USA in 4th position. Only just over 30 seconds or so, though, covering 2nd to 4th places. So still very much podium options, even at the end of the first day for the USA. More or less where you anticipated the team would be?
I would say, obviously, we came with the goal to win. Obviously, Team Sweden's doing really good right now, so it's a tall order to overcome them. But I think overall, I mean, we all had pretty consistent, solid times yesterday. So I think as a team, we're pretty happy just to get all 3 bikes to the finish this early in the week, and then just build on it day by day and try to improve. And for myself, just try to loosen up a bit and push the limits a little bit more.
Well, as you can probably see in the background behind me, the wind is blowing a gale. Last night was quite something. The wind was blowing everything around in the paddock here. There were bales all over the place and so on and so forth. We've got the riders just parking their bikes in Parc Fermé behind us here, just above the paddock on the balcony in the Circuito San Juan. I'm going to take advantage of the opportunity briefly to give you an overview of some provisional results from today. So these are literally hot off the press, and they're not even complete because we haven't had the team's results from Special Test 6 as yet. But after 5 special tests, Sweden leading on today alone by 4 minutes, which is quite a considerable margin, bigger even than yesterday's advantage. But USA in 2nd place on the timesheets after those 5 special tests. So thoughts on that?
Yeah, a little bit of an improvement. I had some issues today, but I think my riding in general was a little bit better. The times just didn't show that. So I think it'll all fall into place as the week goes on. And I mean, as long as we keep doing well as a team, I think it'll all sort itself out.
So Kai, what went wrong for you today? Just give us a bit of an overview of your day.
I just had a couple mistakes, a couple tip overs in the tests, and then I actually wrapped up a banner in my rear caliper and lost my brakes like super early into my favorite cross test. So that was a bummer riding that one without the brakes, but yeah, we got through it. It's 6 days. Things are going to happen to everyone, so you just got to take it as it comes and move on and not dwell on the negative so much.
So you already have a favorite test, and why is that one your favorite then?
It's just flat out in the morning. This morning was kind of a bummer. It was the first one of the day. It was so dusty, and they sent me off right away. I was in dust the whole time. Everyone's kind of dealing with that, though, for sure. It's just so dusty out there nonstop. But that one's pretty sick. It's pretty flat out and loose, just like the other ones, but maybe a little bit more motocrossy too, and some sweet features out there.
So that's your sort of area of expertise. We'll see you come the end of the week in the cross test, tearing it up, will we, on Saturday?
Hopefully, yeah. I do come from a motocross background, and I've been racing off-road for a few years now, though, so I'd like to consider myself an off-road guy now, but I still got a ways to go and a lot of experience to gain.
Albin, when we were talking off camera, you said you weren't happy with your riding so far this week. What on earth are you talking about? Looking at the times, they've been excellent. But I know that your first 2 specials today were a little bit sluggish compared to your past form, perhaps, and the rest of the day's been a good one for you.
Yeah. Yesterday was a struggle with finding the flow, really. I wasn't really where I wanted to be, and today the first one started quite bad. I also had the dust the first test. It was incredible, and then the second one apparently was too slow, and then I managed to loosen up a little bit and find my flow, really, and then just try to push all day. So today I'm for sure more happy than yesterday.
Position Sweden are in, top 3 riders yesterday, top 3 riders today again. That's what's creating this big lead, and it is a massive lead. The end of the first course, we've got 2 full courses to go, 2 new full courses to go. Days 3 and 4 will be the same course, and day 5 another. But at this stage, are we already thinking about managing the race to some extent, given the temperatures, the conditions, and the fact that a retirement would be the end of title hopes, essentially?
No, we haven't really spoken about it, really. I don't know, maybe we speak about it after today, but I think everyone is just trying to push as much as we can, and because everyone is battling for the good position, like for the individual riders. So I think we're just gonna try to push and not do anything stupid, but just try to keep the momentum going and try to go as fast as we can without doing crashes and stupid mistakes.
Yeah, have there been any incidents for you or the other boys thus far? Because it's looked fairly plain sailing from the timesheets.
Yeah, yesterday I had 1 crash, just small tip over in 1 berm, and I know Axel had the 1 crash today, but I think otherwise we don't really had any big problems. I burned my rear brake on the first 2 tests yesterday, but it's it is what it is.
Yeah, that's pushing hard, isn't it?
I'm trying to.
That's how you know you're going well. As far as you guys, I know you spoke about a couple of issues for yourself, but what about the team as a whole over these 2 days so far?
I think as a whole, things are going well. With these conditions and how hot and silty it is, I think just getting bikes across the line every day is like the first and foremost priority. And then from there, obviously, we need to be going faster in the tests if we want to keep up with these guys. But Matteo is riding really well. He's leading the charge for our team, and Grant and I feel like we're riding pretty good too. We just need to find a little more out there.
And what's the next step now? Because days 3 and 4, new course, as we've said. Sweden with a bit of an advantage. Are you almost at the point where you need to manage the rest of your opposition with it being so close for 2nd, 3rd and 4th positions, and wait and see if these guys slip up at some point later in the week?
I don't know. Not necessarily. I think we're just trying to go as fast as we can individually and also look out for the team. That's the main goal. And then, I'm looking forward to some new tests, some new transfers, because I kind of cooked myself yesterday, and it's obviously really hot out here. So, and the transfers and the tracks are getting really beat up. So I think we know these next tests really well. As a team, we studied them pretty hard. So I'm looking forward to pulling out some good lines and hopefully climbing up the leaderboard.
Albin, you were nodding all the way through that.
Yeah.
So exactly what he said. Yeah.
More or less.
No, so look, tomorrow we go out, new scenery, change of course. Is that a risk to you to some extent? I know you were saying that by the time you got back to the same specials, of course you're there for the 4th time by the second half of today. Now we reset.
No, I think as he said, we try to start these tests more good than the first days. But for sure it's a risk always, because myself I usually go quite slow, like not taking any big risks the first lap. But I think we have a good momentum, and if we just keep doing like we do, I think we should be fine with some new tests and some new transfers for sure.
And what are they like out there? What's your biggest threat? What's the one you're looking forward to on the course that we're going to see tomorrow?
I think the first test of the day tomorrow is going to be the most fun one. and also I think the last test of the lap is going to be the most sketchy one, because it's quite wide open and just full of rocks in like a riverbed type of test. So it will be a little bit of everything tomorrow. Like the test we had, day 1 and 2 is been quite similar, but I think day 3 and 4 weeks gonna see more different kind of like destroyness of the test. So will be fun, I think.
So on the intermediate standings then, after the USA in the World Trophy have taken control in the Junior Trophy, it is Sweden that lead the way, and they have further extended their advantage based on provisional results at the intermediate stage with the final special test. Still the results of that one to come in. But thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining me. We look forward to seeing what you can do on a new course tomorrow. But for now, it is Sweden in command in the Junior Trophy. Welcome back to this live studio show on fim-moto TV above the paddock here in San Juan, where we now move on to the Women's World Trophy, and a week that started with our 3 most recent champions all lining up in a head-to-head. And we're going to see what happened on the opening day as they met for the first time here in Argentina. In the Women's Trophy, the most high-profile stories were retirements. 2 for Canada and 1 each for Germany, Great Britain and Argentina. Maria Franca failed to make it to the end of the first day on her ISDE return. Already without Jane Daniels and Rosie Rowett, Great Britain saw their substitute rider Emily Hall forced to withdraw, so the reigning champions are out of the running.
Emily was a last-minute replacement for Rosie Rowett, who got injured. She hasn't really had a lot of time to prepare, and it was a new bike to her. She'd never seen it before this week. She had a small crash on the first check, bent the gear lever into the casing, so lost a little bit of time. And when she got to check 3, she was seriously in trouble. She had heat exhaustion.
The Women's Trophy has quickly become a head-to-head between favourites Australia and the USA. For the Americans, 2019 and 2021 champion Brandy Richards leads the scratch times by over a minute. But the major shock is that Danielle McDonald, at just 16 years of age and in only her 2nd senior competition, sits 2nd behind her. Overshadowing her 6-time champion teammates, the youngster enjoyed a dream debut.
It was crazy. It was full on, one of the most craziest races I've ever done and will probably experience. So yeah, I'm really happy with my riding. I managed to keep it on 2 wheels, and yeah, it was not too bad for the first 6 days.
With only 8 competing teams and 4 of them with retirements, a 2-tier contest has emerged, with Argentina leading best of the rest in 5th. Remarkably, less than 3 seconds separate the top 2 nations after 6 special tests for 3 riders each. So reigning champions Great Britain hitting problems as early as day one, and an early head-to-head between Australia and the USA, separated by less than 3 seconds at the end of the opening day, as you saw at the end there. Delighted to welcome you back to the studio, where I'm now joined by two of our stars, Jessica Gardner, obviously 6-time champion with Australia, and Niamh Holmes alongside me to my right. And we now prepare for a little chat about what we had yesterday. And once again, just as a quick reminder, Australia and the USA separated by just a couple of seconds at the end of day one. And super performance from Danielle McDonald of Australia, helping Australia to put themselves out in front. Brandy Richards, the individual star, as far as the USA were concerned. But first impressions then on that first day. Jess, if I can come to you first. Nothing to choose between Australia and the USA at the end of that opening day.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it was always our goal to go to battle with USA again, and it's always great fun and good for everyone watching back home to, you know, see the times being so close. So, yeah, and it was a really tough day yesterday, let's be honest.
And for Great Britain, an even tougher day, I think it's fair to say, yesterday.
Yeah, unfortunately we lost one of our riders yesterday on the first checkpoint. She had a bit of a mechanical, rock went through her engine casing. And then when she tried to fix it at the first check, just, you know, it was 46-degree heat yesterday, and just standing trying to fix your bike is, you know, it's not ideal. So she just really struggled with the heat, and the team manager Mick made the decision to pull her out for safety, really.
And obviously unfortunate for Great Britain that the task was always a tough one, with two changes compared to the team that won in Le Prix-en-Velay in France last year.
Yeah. We knew coming in, Jane was going to be doing Dakar this year, so we had Elizabeth as the replacement rider. And then unfortunately Rosie got injured just a couple of weeks ago before we were meant to fly out. So Emily filled in. You know, we're really grateful that she stepped in last minute with a week and a half notice. She has a full-time job, you know, she's never raced outside the UK, so yeah, we're really proud of her for coming and giving it a go.
First race outside of the UK, and it's on the other side of the world, so
yeah.
not a bad start. Eh?
No.
How about yourself yesterday in those special tests? How did you get on?
Yeah, not too bad. I struggled with the heat, so I kind of just paced myself throughout the day, and I think I finished 9th, so yeah, I was happy to see the end, to be honest.
And Jessica Gardner, you've been there and done it all before with Australia. You were here in San Juan all the way back in 2014. I know, it makes us all feel young, doesn't it, looking that far back, but you were able to win on that occasion, and here hoping that history repeats itself this time.
Yeah, absolutely. We always give it our everything. We weren't even sure to be here this year. There was a few logistical issues we had, but yeah, everyone pulled together back home in Australia, and yeah, it's really cool to just be here again. And yeah, I don't remember it being this hot and crazy hard.
Your teammates, you've got Taylor fighting through an injury and has only just come back, and you've got a young rider in Danielle who really starred yesterday. We saw a few pictures there from the first day on the special tests, and riding really strongly. I think impressed everyone at just 16 years of age, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Danielle rides for my team back home in Australia, and we had no doubt of her speed. And like you said, only 16-year-old, and she done Portugal, the last world round with me, just to learn the arrows and how all this works only a month or so ago. She'd never done a senior race before. It was her first senior race, so this is her second senior race, second time following arrows and everything. Unfortunately, she made a little rookie mistake today, checking 2 minutes early. Just went a bit too far through the yellow flags, but you know, that's what we're here for. Taylor and I said when we wanted to commit to this and try and get Team Australia back here, we really just wanted to start bringing the young ones through. As you said, I'm not getting any younger. I'm 30 now, and Taylor's 28.
I didn't quite say that.
You hinted it. That's all right. So yeah, it's you know, really cool just to be around her, and you know, there was a few tears today from her, and you know, we just said, look, it is what it is. It's happened. Let's move forward. And like you can see on the results, there's not many teams left in the running. I think we're down to 3 teams after today in the women's team, starting from 8. So it's a long race. We all need to get to the finish line, and that's our main goal at the moment.
As you've said, you've beaten me to the post, but a tougher day for Danielle today, and inevitably when the rider who was fastest yesterday drops a little bit of time today. and particularly when you've got Brandy Richards riding as well as she is for the USA, that's what's made a fair chunk. And just for those of you at home, we haven't got confirmed results by team at the end of the 6th special test as yet, but we have got the team standings as they were after special test 5, and at that point the USA was already leading today by 4.5 minutes over Australia, and then the FIM Latin American team in 3rd position on today's timesheets, and that's because the other teams have all lost at least one rider. 2 lost for Canada, 2 lost for Great Britain, 1 loss for Germany, their big star, and a big time penalty as well. Argentina and France have also now lost a rider, so we're down to 3 full teams, and I think that's a bit of a reminder that although the USA have pulled a big gap today, that can easily be lost if something goes wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. There can be any changes at any moment, so yeah, we're just trying to keep cool as we can because it's very hot out there. Keep it all together. We've got a small support crew here, but a very efficient one, so can't thank them enough, and everyone back home for following. It's you know, we'll keep on keeping on.
And how's day 2 been for you? I think you said that touched on day 1 maybe didn't quite go as well as you hoped. How did you feel that today went?
Day 2 was a lot better. I think it was like 10 degrees cooler, so the guys did a really good job at the checks as well with all the ice and throwing water on us all the time, so yeah, keeping us cool. But yeah, no, it was a good day. I will be glad to see new trails tomorrow because even the test and the transfer is really brutal now. It's really cut up.
Strong winds were always predicted for today. Actually, they haven't been quite as strong as they were probably initially forecast to be, but has that helped a little bit? What's that done in terms of the dust as well?
Yeah, I mean, on the special test, I don't think it made much of a difference, but on the transfer, it seemed to blow the dust away a lot more than yesterday. Yesterday, there was a little bit of a breeze, but it was like a hairdryer in your face. It was like a really warm breeze, whereas today it was a lot cooler, so yeah, it was a lot better.
For you in Great Britain, I don't know about you, but I came from 10 degrees to 36 almost immediately. Yeah. Nothing like what we had in France last year, so much green and so on. This is very different landscape. What kind of experience have you got of these kinds of special tests?
None really. It's my first time kind of riding in the desert. It's my first time crashing into a cactus. So that was interesting. I was back in the hotel picking spikes out of my hands, but yeah, no, it's very different. It's very dry and lots of loose rocks. Like you say, nothing like we saw in France last year. Nothing like England. So it's a bit of a learning curve, but it's good.
How early in the day yesterday was Cactus Gate then? When did that happen?
It was the last check of the first lap.
Okay, so you had to ride with the spikes in you for the rest of the
time. Like half a spike.
You still got some holes left in it now.
Yeah, down the bottom.
But riding okay today, you felt okay on the bike. You've said that you're looking forward to having some new special tests tomorrow. I think both of you off camera alluding to the fact that it'll be good to tackle something new tomorrow. What are you thinking about what lies ahead of us?
Yeah, I think the tests for day 3 and 4 look really good. Don't know much about the transfer, so yeah, I guess we'll kind of see how that goes tomorrow. But yeah, the tests look good.
Transfer's a little bit shorter today. The conditions yesterday were so demanding. We had riders coming here for the studio show at the end of the day yesterday saying, what if we carry on this way? I'm not sure how many riders are actually going to make it to that final cross test. How much did that help also mean that you get back earlier before the sun is necessarily at its peak?
Yeah, it's a big relief. It was super hot yesterday and the trails were probably one of the hardest we've ever had at an ISDE. There was just no time to rest. You were forever, like you'd go to sit down to rest for 2 seconds and then a rock would nearly boot you over the bar, so you're like, okay, back up. So it was just really physically demanding. And then add the heat on top of that and the dust and all the elements, it was definitely a really tough day. So I'm really glad they listened, the management, and made some shortcuts today and put us on the road a little bit more just so we could cool down a little bit more, ready to give everything in the special test.
And I know you've touched on already the logistical challenge of coming to the ISDE from Australia. That's, well, pretty much every time there's a logistical effort, but this case in particular. Great to have you back here and obviously reuniting with Taylor again, who doesn't live in Australia regularly. So bringing that band back together, and you've got a third member that's going well. So no reason why you can't make some more history this season.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always a pleasure to be here and represent our country and everyone back home. Thank you.
target for yourself now, lone ranger out there, just to make sure you bring it home, I think, and enjoy some individual success. Is that fair?
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll look forward to seeing how both of these ladies get on over the course of this week. Jessica Gardner and Niamh Holmes joining us from Australia and Great Britain, respectively. As far as the women's trophy is concerned, it is the USA who have taken some command today, so a good day for them in all three of our World Trophy classes. Plenty, though, still to go in this 6 days of Enduro. So coming up tomorrow, the western route of the week's running. Spectacular scenery on San Juan's Ruta Interlagos between Lake Olum and the Sierras Azules. Another full 240-kilometre day. As for the tests themselves, again, we've got 2 cross tests and an enduro test. The cross test is the final special of the day at the bottom of the Punta Negra, brought to you by Motul. Enduro tests in Villacum itself, just up the famous Route 40 from the Circuito San Juan. So it's the USA in control in terms of the World Trophy and the Women's Trophy in the junior category. It's Sweden 1, 2 and 3 in scratch. They have a sizable advantage, but we're only a third of the way through the week, so still plenty of running to go and a new course to look forward to tomorrow. Join us in 24 hours time where we'll give you the full confirmed results of day 2 and a rundown of what happened on the 3rd day as we head towards the halfway mark in the 2023 FIM International 6 Days of Enduro.